Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Greensboro Human Rights Commission and the City of Greensboro, welcome to the 2026 Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast Program. It is a sold-out crowd of 850 strong this morning. So good to see you all. Yes, let's applaud on that. Let's applaud on that. My name is Natalie Wilson, and I'm a news anchor and reporter with WGHP TV, and it is truly an honor to serve as your MC this morning as we gather in reflection, remembrance, and resolve. Today, we come together under the theme, From Words to Action, Advancing the Dream Together. Dr. King reminded us that faith without works is dead, and that justice requires not only vision, but action. This morning, we celebrate those who have turned values into service and ideals into impact. Before we move forward in the program, just a few housekeeping notes to go over with you this morning. We ask that you please silence or lower your mobile devices at this time. Breakfast will be served following the invocation. And if at any point in the morning you need to use the restrooms, they are located just outside of the entrance doors. We also ask that you please let a member of the team know if you did not pick up your dietary restriction card, and someone will be happy to assist you with that. So thank you so much for being present and engaged this morning. To officially dedicate our time together, it is my pleasure to welcome a leader who continues to serve our community with integrity and compassion. Please join me in welcoming Mary Kay Abuzawader, Mayor of the City of Greensboro, for the dedication of the morning.
Good morning. Good morning. What a beautiful morning with everyone here in the room. I know it was a little early, but you know, God is good and we all made it safely and no one hit the black ice they were talking about this morning. So thank you each and every one for being here. I am so honored and thrilled to be here today. And I do want to first recognize my council members. We have Mr. Hugh Holston. If you would stand, please. We have Ms. Crystal Black, District 1. And we have Ms. Cece Crawford, District 2. There may be a few others who come in a little later, and my Mayor Pro Tem Denise Roth sends her regrets. But today we honor the life, the legacy, and the enduring moral leadership of Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King was more than a figure in the history books. He was a voice, and that voice stirred the consciousness of a nation. A pastor who believed faith must be out in the public, and a leader who challenged us each and every one to see one another not as adversaries, but as friends. He reminded us of so many things, and he called ordinary people to do extraordinary things. His work was rooted in the belief that dignity belongs to everyone. He challenges us to listen more deeply, to act more justly, and to serve one another with humility. Dr. King understood change does not happen overnight, as we well know. It comes through steady communication and building those relationships that will last forever, to bring us together and not divide us. As we dedicate this day, let us recommit ourselves to his vision of fairness, opportunity, and peace. Remember that, because together we can all walk in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Abuzawader, for those thoughtful and grounding remarks. At this time, we are honored to hear greetings from the North Carolina Martin Luther King Jr. Commission, an organization dedicated to preserving and advancing the legacy of Dr. King across the state. Please welcome Patricia Levitton.
Good morning. I'm Pat Levitton, one of the Martin Luther King commissioners that our governor appoints to be on the North Carolina MLK Commission. The North Carolina MLK Commission was established in 1993 to encourage ceremonies and activities like this morning throughout the state relating to the observance of the legal holiday of Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, and to promote an awareness and appreciation of the life and work of Martin Luther King Jr. The mission of the MLK Commission is to reduce inequity and drive comprehensive justice-centered change for all North Carolinians by amplifying the efforts of organizations championing humanity and supporting celebratory events in honor of Dr. King's birthday. We celebrate a society of diversity and perpetrate justice and equity now and for generations to come. I leave you with the words of Dr. Martin Luther King. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, and whatever affects one directly affects us all indirectly. Thank you, City of Greensboro, for hosting this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Levitton. Our next speaker represents a commission deeply committed to dignity, equity, and accountability in our community. Please welcome Dr. Sean Smith, Chair of the Greensboro Human Rights Commission, who will share greetings and recognize the Morningside Award recipients. And after he speaks, we ask that you please turn your attention to the screens for a video presentation.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I am Dr. Sean D. Smith. I serve as the chair of the Human Rights Commission, and I wanted to simply bring some quick greetings as this will be my last year on the commission serving in this role. And I wanted to first acknowledge everyone that's here today and their support on behalf of the Human Rights Commission. It is my honor to welcome you at our 39th annual Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Breakfast. I want to begin by expressing deep gratitude to the dedicated commissioners who serve along me, Vice Chair Myra Vasquez, Akila Campbell, Dr. Sue Polinsky, as well as Keela Smith and Camilla Wood. Your commitment to this work is the heartbeat of this commission. I also extend sincere thanks to our Human Rights Department, Dr. Love Jones, Director and Assistant Director Maria Hicks-Few, along with the entire department and staff whose tireless efforts make this event a year-round work possible. To Mayor Abuzawader and the City Council, I thank you. Just real quick, the purpose of the HRC, the Human Rights Commission, exists for one fundamental reason: to improve the quality of life for all Greensboro residents by encouraging fair treatment and promoting mutual understanding and respect among all people. We do this through 4 key areas: education, employment, human services, social equity, housing, and international advisory committee. Each of these areas reflect Dr. King's vision that justice anywhere requires vigilance everywhere. If you feel called to work, we invite you to join us. The city's boards and commissions webpage on greensboro-northcarolina.gov. Our meetings are open to the public. Please join us. As we talk about this year's event, this is our 39th year for the MLK Breakfast. Who was aware of that? 39 years. Nearly 4 decades, this breakfast brought Greensboro together. It has reminded us that Dr. King's dream is not a memory to be observed once a year, but a mission to live every day. This event works. I want to say that again. This event works. Why do I say that? As we approach our 39th year, there's been some discussions of some changes. I ask that we collectively work on the sustainability of the tradition that requires clear, intentional collaboration between the city and our private sponsors. When government and community partners stand shoulder to shoulder, we demonstrate the very unity that Dr. King championed. I call upon all corporate, nonprofit, civic partners to continue investing in this gathering, not as spectators, but as co-creators for a more just Greensboro. In closing, I want to thank you for being here this year and this morning. Let us leave renewed in our commitment to move forward, words to action, advancing the dream together. Thank you.
Well, it is my honor to tell you more about the Morningside Awards, which are given each year by the City of Greensboro to 5 graduates of James B. Dudley High School in recognition of their leadership and dedication to advancing justice and equality in their communities. The goal of the Morningside Awards is not only to commemorate those lives lost, but to honor the legacy they left behind. A legacy of standing firm for justice, equality, and human dignity, even in the face of violence and division. It is especially fitting that these awards recognize young people because they remind us that the work of justice does not belong to one generation alone. It is passed forward, strengthened by courage, sustained by memory, and renewed through action. The 2025 Morningside Award recipients are Gabrielle Brown, Misa Brumby, Brittany Horton, Jordan Johnson, and Gabrielle Taylor. Let's give them a round of applause. Congratulations to all of our recipients for 2026, excuse me. At this time, please turn your attention to the screens for a video presentation.
In 1979, the Morningside Homes community in Greensboro was the site of an event that reverberated across the nation when the Communist Workers' Party held a community protest to lift up workers' rights in Greensboro. While many similar protests were held in the United States, this encounter led to acts of violence that were seen throughout the nation. On November 3, 1979, the Communist Workers' Party held a Death to the Klan march. During the march, members of the Ku Klux Klan, along with some identifying as Nazis, encountered the Communist Workers' Party and violence ensued. Many lives were lost that day, which included 5 Communist Workers' Party members: Cesar Calce, Dr. James Waller, William Evan Sampson, Sandra Neely Smith, and Dr. Michael Nathan. As a result of this historic event, the City of Greensboro issued an apology to the Morningside Homes community for the complexity of the situation involving the Greensboro police in the 1979 Greensboro massacre.
That the City Council of the City of Greensboro hereby express its apology to the victims, the survivors, their families, and the members of the Morningside Homes community for the events that occurred on November 3rd, 1979.
The city also promised to award 5 scholarships in the amount of $1,979 to graduating seniors from James B. Dudley High School in honor of the 5 people killed. We would like to recognize the winners of the 2025 Morningside Awards. Trinity Horton.
My name is Trinity Horton. I attend North Carolina Central University. Human rights means to me like it matters what's going on with you and how you feel. You need to protect yourself because at the end of the day, it's about you. One problem I see in the community is the lack of mental health access. How I think I can make a difference is I do plan on majoring in social work, so I do want to get in that field, and I want to understand like the pros and cons of it, how to help in certain situations. You know, some people's situations aren't the same as others. I do want to work in low-income communities, especially with the children that's being involved. I feel like it starts from there and it grows up. So, I mean, if we could get a good track while they're young and, you know, balanced out, I really feel like that would start being a bigger impact on people.
Gabrielle Taylor.
My name is Gabrielle Taylor, and I attend UNC Charlotte. Human rights means to me that everyone gets a fair chance, everyone has a fighting chance. A problem I often see in underserved communities is the lack of speech therapy, speech services, and I would like to help by going to pursue a degree in speech pathology and soon opening up my own practices in those communities. A lot of doctors brush off when you bring up a problem about your child, and some doctors don't understand that's just like how they speak. Instead of helping them with that, when I was 1, I had selective mutism, and a lot of doctors blamed it on other things, like my mother comparing me to my older sister, or maybe autism, instead of actually testing me. And I really felt like they really didn't give me a chance as a child. And my mom kept fighting to give me that chance. And eventually, I did see a speech therapist, and obviously, I talk.
Misa Brumby.
My name is Misa Brumby, and I attend Howard University. Human rights means to me that everybody is protected with their peace, that everybody is treated with respect and dignity, and make sure that everyone is just brought up as they should and not be compared to anyone else. In the community, I've seen a problem with the health disparities in African American NICU babies. They have a lot of congenital heart defects, and they are underseen and underserved. I think that some moms are just brushed off or seen as they are overreacting to the actual problem instead of having an actual concern that will affect the kid's life forever. At Howard, I plan to major in chemistry and then go to medical school to become an OBGYN, and there I will have practice for African American women and focus on their health and make sure they are listened to. What motivates me is my community. I've seen kids playing sports that have a hard time with asthma a lot. So I want kids to be able to live their dream without having to deal with medical issues.
And Gabrielle Brown.
My name is Gabrielle Brown, and I'm attending Louisiana State University with the dream to pursue physical therapy. One problem that I deeply care about is the healthcare inequality, especially when it relates to the access of physical and mental health resources. When it comes to costs, and I know that individuals have problem with transportation, maybe don't have a car, or even younger kids to take them to these appointments and things of that sort. I think that I can improve access to physical and mental health services by reaching out to people who are wanting to pursue these areas and forming a group of people who are in their community and maybe working with other communities to come together. Human rights, to me, is something that should be provided to everybody, no matter your color, your race, what you do, what you look like, what your hair color is. I feel like it is the foundation of our society. I kind of feel like it's what brings everybody together because we share those rights.
Music has always been a powerful force in the movement for justice, lifting spirit, strengthening resolve, and reminding us of our shared humanity. Please welcome back the Triad Youth Choir performing Love Has Broken Down the Wall by Mark Miller. We now turn to the power of spoken word, language that challenges, heals, and calls us forward. Please welcome Tochi Will from the Poetry Project.
Buenos días. Es un honor. On this 19th day of MLK Light, I look to the King who saw the fight for Black liberation as intrinsically connected to the struggles of all people of color, including Latinos. Thus, the Reverend Doctor's dream reflected ours across time and scene, from Project C and the March on Washington in '63 to Selma in '65 to the Planned Poor People's Campaign in '68, a collaboration with Chicanos for unification. Aquí estamos together, brighter than ever as we live and beam, illuminated and elevated on the King's team. Be ye stirred from words to action, audaciously authentic, and dream like life depends on it. Sigue marchando, regal and gifted, undismayed, lifted by the prayers prayed. Down by the river, there's an upgrade where the burdens were laid and the water weighed. God troubles it on and on as we everglade. Courageous and brave, we approve this message conveyed. Si se puede, yes we can. Three strand, hand to hand, we braid. Interlaced, interfaced, decade after decade. Lit path, we lamp in his shade. Silver shadow, we are the frame to his work portrayed. The demonstrations, the marches, the difference they made. With every voice raised, unmoved and unafraid. Shoulder to shoulder, we blade. Call it first aid, first response, first watch, eye shade, first light, first sight. We be his people on parade. Rest, no creo. At best, dress right dress. Course, stayed. Talk about a movement, a crusade. ¿Por qué? Black and brown never fade. With a blueprint, high grade, grade A. We are our own accolade, an assortment of excellence to be buffeted. Come to the table, promenade. We're serving melanade, substance, proof, root, surveyed, and it said, we are what grandma's hands made. The gift to the world God gave. Be the flyest, soar the highest, stand firm and live full. Be ye moved, stirred by the reverberation of his word, audaciously authentic, and dream like life depends on it. Amen. Gracias.
Certainly powerful words this morning. Thank you so much for that spoken word. Thank you, thank you. As we prepare to share a meal together, we pause to ground ourselves spiritually and collectively. Today's invocation reflects the interfaith unity of our community. Our featured faith leaders are Rabbi Andy Koren, Dr. Erica Hendricks, Imam Dr. Abdel Nuruddin, and Pat Levitin.
Dr. King spoke from the heart of his Christian faith, yet his message transcended every boundary, faith, race, and nation. This morning, representatives from several faith traditions will share short excerpts from Dr. King's speeches, words that continue to challenge and inspire us all.
One of the great liabilities of life is that too many people find themselves living amid a great period of social change and yet fail to develop the new attitudes, the new mental responses that the new situation demands. Every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. Moral awakening and faithful action in times of change.
Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. We are caught in an inescapable network of mutuality, tied in a single garment of destiny. Whatever affects one directly affects all indirectly. Interconnectedness and the moral law of justice, a prophetic call to conscience.
We are called to speak for the weak, for the voiceless, for the victims of our nation, and for those it calls enemy. For no document from human hands can make these humans any less our brothers. Universal compassion, moral courage, and peace rooted in justice.
Everybody can be great because everybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. Greatness defined not by status, but by service, the essence of humanity.
This morning, we have heard not only Dr. King's words, but his heartbeat, a call that transcends religion and time. Let these words echo in our lives beyond this breakfast table, in how we lead, how we serve, and how we love. As we receive this food, we give thanks for the hands that prepared it, the resources that made it possible, and the fellowship we share in this moment. May this nourishment strengthen our bodies as the spirit of love and justice strengthens our resolve. May we go forth now, sustained and renewed, strengthened by faith, united by purpose, and inspired to build our beloved community together. Amen, Ashe, peace be upon us all.
We certainly hope that you're enjoying breakfast, and please continue to enjoy your breakfast as we move forward with the program. One of the most meaningful moments of our program is the presentation of the Everyday Champion Award, which honors individuals who consistently go above and beyond to advance human rights and social justice in our community. To present this year's recognition, please welcome Maria Hicks-Few, Deputy Director of the Greensboro Human Rights Department.
Good morning, everyone. It's so much red and white in the room. Those that know me, I have to get a little sprinkle of pink and green for a moment. Thank you. Thank you. Just a little sprinkle, just a little sprinkle. This award is given to the residents who have gone above and beyond to champion increased human rights and social justice. Winners are nominated through a citywide process and selected by the MLK Breakfast Planning Committee. This year's honorees are James Harrison, Dr. James Harrison, Tiffany Rudd, Janet Ward Black, and I'm going to call each one of them up to the podium if they could make their way over. And we also have, who did I forget? If they could come on over to the podium, I'm going to call them up one at a time and do their bios. Dr. James Harrison, Tiffany Rudd's family, Janet Ward Black's family, Dr. James Harrison is our first recipient. Dr. Harrison is an assistant professor in the Department of Leadership Studies and Adult Education at North Carolina A&T State University. In addition to providing classroom instruction, he has researched subjects such as the experiences of Black male students in science, technology, engineering, and math programs at predominantly white institutions, the school-to-prison pipeline, food insecurity among college students, and the role of artificial intelligence in supporting Black male students at HBCUs. The Greensboro College graduate serves on the Interactive Resource Center's Board of Directors. He is a youth leader at Mount Zion Baptist Church, and he has volunteered at local Title I schools and is the past president of the Black Alumni Collective at his alma mater. He holds a Doctor of Philosophy from Liberty University and earned a master's degree in leadership for higher education from Capella University. Now we present to you Dr. James Harrison, our first recipient. And if Dr. Love Jones, if you could also join me on the podium, and Mayor Abuzawader as well. Next, we have the family of Tiffany Rudd, and her daughter is here representing her today. Tiffany led a life of influence and encouragement as a certified life coach and CEO of M8D2 Rise before her passing in June 2025. She was a member of the city's Commission on the Status of Women and the Greensboro Police Department's Core Connection team. She volunteered extensively by assisting people with physical, mental, and emotional disabilities, low self-esteem, homelessness, and victims of domestic abuse. Tiffany served on the boards of the Greensboro Academy People to People and the Fire Relief Fund. She held degrees in Christian counseling and divinity from Grace Christian College. We present to you Tiffany Rudd's daughter. Real quick. Just say your name. Just say your name.
Good morning. I'd like to thank God for this, for my mom. I'm honored to get this for her. You all are amazing. Stay blessed. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Lavelle Freeman. I'm her oldest.
We also have another posthumous award, Janet Ward Black. She was the founder and owner of Ward Black Law in Greensboro. Attorney Ward passed away in November of 2025. She was a devoted attorney, visionary leader, and she built one of North Carolina's largest women-owned law firms and dedicated her life to advancing justice and service. We would like to now call up her husband so he can accept the award in her stay. Thank you.
I really appreciate this award for Janet Ward. She would have been absolutely ecstatic about being honored in this way, and I really appreciate that. I'll leave you with one thing she always liked to use in her speeches, which is a title of a book by Alice Walker, and it says, "We are the people we've been waiting on," because she wanted to spur people to action, that we should step up and do our part. Thank you again.
And next we have Dina Hayes Green. Ms. Dina co-founded Black Wall Street LLC to empower urban communities through strategic planning, development, and community organizing. A member of the Guilford County Board of Education, and she is not just a member, she is chair of the Guilford County Board of Education, and she is dedicated to the pursuit of economic equality, sustainable growth, and creating opportunities for historically underserved communities. Dina has co-founded and serves as the managing director of the Racial Equity Institute and also co-founded the Black Pearls Society, a nonprofit think tank committed to addressing institutional, political, and structural inequalities. We call up Ms. Dina Hayes Green. And last but certainly not least, we have Mr. Justin Washington. Justin has spent 20 years in the U.S. Navy before serving with the Guilford County Sheriff's Department. Upon his retirement, he was appointed to the city's Parks and Recreation Commission and will complete his third term later this month. Justin founded and serves as executive director of Just One Foundation, which organizes and sponsors family-oriented events to gather neighbors and provide positive experiences. The group hosts fundraisers that benefit community projects like the maintenance of the city's Maplewood Cemetery and oversight of the Maywood Community Garden. Washington is also the vice chairman of the Greensboro Guilford Crime Stoppers program. Justin, if you could come on up as well. And thank you so much for all of the winners. As far as Everyday Champion is concerned for this year, we plan on making a short video with all of our recipients that did not have a chance to speak today. So that's why you did not hear from them. Look from that video in the very, very near future. Thank you all so much and have a great morning.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks-Few, and congratulations again to our Everyday Champions. Let's give them another round of applause. At this time, we are pleased to once again welcome the Triad Youth Choir performing Keep Marching, arranged by Alan Renee.
You won't live to see the future that you fight for. Maybe no one gets to reach that perfect day. If the work is never over, then how do you keep marching anyway?
Do you carry a banner as far as you can, rewriting the world with your imperfect pen till the next stubborn girl picks it up in a picket line over and over again, and you join in the chorus of centuries chanting to her? The path will be twisted and risky and slow, but keep marching, keep marching. Will you fail or prevail? Well, you may never know, but keep marching, 'cause your ancestors are all the proof you need that progress is possible, not guaranteed. It will only be made if we keep marching on. Keep marching on. Keep marching on.
Don't forget you're merely one of many others on the journey every generation makes.
We did not end in justice, and neither will you. But still we made strides, so we know you can too. Make peace with your incomplete power and use it for good, 'cause there's so much to do.
There is so much to do.
Can be changed, we've done it before.
So keep marching, marching. We're always behind you, so
Bring down the door and keep marching. Keep marching.
let history sound the alarm of how the future demands that we
Fight for it
now.
It will only be us if we keep marching on.
Keep marching on. Keep marching on.
Marching, 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 marching.
Keep marching on.
Thank you to the choir for that uplifting return. Thank you, young people. It is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. Our keynote speaker today is a visionary leader, a trailblazer in higher education, and a powerful advocate for student success and equity across North Carolina and beyond. Dr. Koury G. Dixon currently serves as the 13th Chancellor of North Carolina Central University, and in July of 2024, became the first woman to serve as chancellor at 2 institutions within the UNC system. She previously led Elizabeth City State University, part of her more than 15 years in the system-wide leadership. I see she has a lot of support from different places today. Well, Dixon has shaped major policies that strengthen student success, expanded access, and fostered impactful partnerships across North Carolina's educational landscape. Her influence extends nationally through her service on numerous boards and advisory groups, accompanied by an array of awards recognizing her leadership and commitment to students. Dixon holds a doctorate and a bachelor's from North Carolina State University and earned her master's degree from UNC Greensboro. Please join me in welcoming our keynote speaker, Dr. Koury G. Dixon. Let's applaud her as she comes to encourage us today.
Good morning, Greensboro. Now, I know you all have had a wonderful breakfast, and some of you might be thinking about nap time, but I need your undivided attention for just 15 minutes, if you would spare that for me. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to speak to you this morning and to see such a large crowd, 7 o'clock in the morning. We get it done, don't we? We know what's important. We know our purpose. We know what we need to do. Yes. Now, I'm going to need some energy from you all. So I need you to respond to me. Good morning. Good morning. Yes, I love it. I feel it. I love it. So first, I want to thank Dr. Love Jones and the Human Rights Commission of the City of Greensboro for this honor of speaking with you today. I applaud you for your steadfast commitment to fairness, to dignity, and mutual respect. As a chancellor, those are the values I hope to instill in all of our students. As an American and as a proud North Carolinian, those are the values I seek to uphold in our democracy. Now, before I continue on, I will be remiss if I don't do a roll call. Can I have the Eagles of North Carolina Central University, students and alumni? Table 10, I heard you were sitting. Good to see you all. Thank you, Eagles, for supporting me today. Greatly appreciate you. Yes. I also have to recognize those divine divas of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated. Thank you so much, sorors, for being here today and for your continued support of our leadership. And to all of our D9 brothers and sisters, I see you in the room. I've already heard the AKAs are here. So all the D9 brothers and sisters, thank you so much. Stand where you are as well. Thank you for all of your support in what you are doing to continue to support our students and our universities. All right, Vikings. Where are my Vikings? I hear you out there too. Viking pride, Viking pride. Yes, good to see you, ECSU Vikings. Yeah. Who's that? Look. I'm going to get to the school in Greensboro. I'm going to get there, but you know, there are some universities I had to recognize first now. Give me a minute. But also, as we transition to identify and welcoming all of our HBCU graduates represented today, please stand where you are, and that includes those Aggies. Yes. Thank you so much, Aggies, for welcoming me to Greensboro. You know that means a lot to me. Are there any my colleagues, any college or university presidents or chancellors in the room to be recognized? Okay, well, I know they're here in spirit. And to our students, will you please stand where you are? Students in attendance this morning, 7 a.m. Yes. I know we have college students here. We have Dudley High School here. We have so many different high schools represented. Thank you all, students, for showing up at 7 a.m. and bringing that energy, because this is about you, the work that we do. And I also would like to recognize our elected officials. Thank you for your continued advocacy of our students, of our institutions, of our communities. Elected officials, if you haven't already been recognized, please stand where you are. Thank you for your work. Thank you. Our faith leaders, we can't do it without our faith leaders, right? Right, congregation? Can I get an amen? Yes, faith leaders, wherever you are, please stand and thank you for your prayers. Thank you for being there in support of our community efforts. Thank you. And if you haven't stood up already, you're about to in the next two that I'm going to say. To all of our educators, where are you in the building? Our teachers, our professors, our administrators. Thank you, educators. Yes. Thank you for what you do to educate our students and our advocates. Now, if you haven't stood up yet, this is your time. Advocates in the room, that's everybody. Wave your hand, yes. So as we gather here today to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we are reminded that knowing our values begins with knowing ourselves, where we come from, the events that have shaped us, the ideals that have moved us. I'm grateful to everyone in this room, to our elected officials, our faith leaders, our educators, our students, our advocates, and the residents who have gathered here today, not only to commemorate history, but to advance it. The theme of today's observance is From Words to Action, Advancing the Dream Together. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s words continue to inspire us, but inspiration alone was never his end goal. His words were meant to motivate us, to unsettle us, and to compel us to action. We come together not only to reflect, but to renew our commitment to Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s dream and to do the work that lies ahead. Dr. King was a man whose moral clarity challenged a nation, whose courage confronted injustice, and whose faith in humanity called us to close the gap between aspiration and reality. He called on us to recognize our God-given notions of fairness and equality, and it did not remain how we should proceed as we think about his dream. Dr. King did not ask America to admire him. He asked America to change. He asked us to examine our laws, our institutions, our hearts, our habits. He asked us to replace apathy with action, silence with courage, and division with beloved community. That is why this day was never meant to be a pause. It's supposed to be a push, a day on, not a day off. Greensboro gets it. This city holds a sacred place in the story in the history of the civil rights movement. In 1960, 4 young students from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University, see, Aggies, I included you, sat down at a Woolworth's lunch counter and asked for a simple helping in justice. They asked for the kind of dignity that millions of Americans could recognize as reasonable and righteous. Their quiet courage ignited a movement that reshaped this nation. In fact, they inspired students from the university I now lead, then known as North Carolina College at Durham, now known as North Carolina Central University, to stage their own sit-ins at their local Woolworth's counters. Those NC Central students were inspired by their brothers and sisters right here in Greensboro, as well as in 1957, conducted a sit-in at the Rural Ice Cream Parlor in Durham. Then, as it is now, there are deep ties between the students, alumni, and staff, and the supporters of North Carolina historically Black colleges and universities. Word of protest and of promise of progress traveled quickly in the networks formed on our campuses, and that remains true today. One example of a person within the Greensboro 4 that I was able to get to know when I worked at the UNC system office was Franklin McCain. He went on to serve as NC Central trustee and then as a similar role at North Carolina A&T, and eventually on the UNC Board of Governors at the UNC system office. McCain was a quiet man in those meetings. I remember sitting there and watching him. But when it came to HBCUs, when it came to our community, when it came to students of color, when he spoke, his voice made the room silent. Whatever he said, everybody listened. And that's why it's so important as we think about our voice. Our voice matters. Not only do we want to continue to have a seat at the table, but when we have that seat at the table, we have to use our voice. We can't just be sitting there excited about sitting there, right? We have to use our voice. And education and the fight for freedom have always been deeply linked. The brave students of Dr. King's era, some of whom are sitting right here in this room today, are not very different from the young people who walk our campuses today. They were determined, they were hopeful, they were tired of waiting. You get tired of waiting? We should all be tired of waiting. They believed that ordinary people acting with purpose could bend the arc of history towards justice. Dr. King believed that too. He believed that progress is not inevitable. It is earned, it is built, it is sustained by people who refuse to accept injustice as normal or inequality as permanent. As we gather on this MLK Junior Day, we are called to reflect not only on what Dr. King dreamed, but on what he demanded of us. Demanded, that's a strong word, right? What he demanded of us. He demanded that we confront not just individual prejudice, but deep-rooted inequities. He demanded not charity, but economic justice, fairness in wages, housing, healthcare, and education. He demanded nonviolence, a disciplined love that resists hate without becoming it. Dr. King understood that human rights are not just abstract ideas. They are lived realities. They flourish or falter in classrooms, courtrooms, workplaces, and neighborhoods. They are reflected in who is heard, who is protected, and who is allowed to thrive. That is why the work of the Greensboro Human Rights Commission is so vital. Improving quality of life is not a slogan. It is a daily responsibility. Encouraging fair treatment and promoting mutual understanding requires courage, consistency, and collaboration. It requires listening across differences and acting with integrity. Dr. King once said, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere." In today's world, that truth still rings clear. We see it in disparities in education. We see it in gaps in health outcomes. We see it in housing insecurities, food insecurity, and unequal access to opportunity. We see it when voices are dismissed and when communities are left behind. Yet we also see hope. We see it in young people who are engaged and informed. We see it in neighbors who serve one another. And we see it in cities like Greensboro that are willing to confront hard truths while working toward a more positive future. As an educator and as chancellor of North Carolina Central University, I believe deeply in the power of education to drive fair opportunity and social change. Education does more than prepare people for careers. A good education insists on critical thinking, empathy, and civic responsibility. It helps individuals discover not only what they can do, but who they are called to be. That's what education has done for me. Growing up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Any Winston-Salem people in the audience? All right, okay, WSSU is here, I hear you. But growing up in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, educated through the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Public Schools and a graduate of Carver High School. Now, Dudley, I know, we had a little rivalry. Back in the day, we had a little rivalry. I don't know if it still exists, but Carver High School was always ready to show up when we played Dudley, right? And I am truly blessed to have parents that instilled in me the importance of education. And Greensboro, I want you to know my parents are here today. Will you please stand, Mom and Dad? Thank you so much. As a first-generation college student, I never would have imagined that one day I would be called to serve 2 UNC system campuses. Not one, but 2. And then again, the first one at the age of 43. Unheard of. But at the end of the day, when you are called, now some of you know what that means. When you are called, the responsibility is to be obedient and to take on any challenge put before you. And I was called to do that. And I am grateful and very blessed that my God believes that I can do the work that He needs for me to do. So it is such a pleasure. As I think about, there was greater purpose for me. There was greater purpose for me to inspire scores of people to believe in their dreams by way of an education. The power of education continues to inspire my work today as I advocate for the needs of my students, faculty, and staff, and for the communities that we serve. At NCCU, our motto is truth and service. We believe that when the truth of knowledge meets commitment to service, transformation follows. And because of that, every NCCU student must complete 120 hours of community service before they graduate. Yes. All of our college students must be told that the nation needs their talents and that younger generations are watching them, needing to be inspired to believe that anything is possible. So you may ask, what is our shared responsibility in this? Well, to everyone here this morning, our young people need us. That's why I had them stand up so you could see where they are. They need us. We must advise them, we must activate them, and we must advocate for them. They are our future. Many of you are retired in this room. I hope to retire one day myself. We need them to be ready, right? We need them ready. And let me just share some of the research I found that'll give you something to think about. A 2025 FGS global survey found, by a wide margin, the public, not just young adults, but the public, all of us, believes that life will be harder for the next generation. And 47% of people report feeling disconnected from society. Disconnected. Mental health is real. Post-COVID, mental health is real, and we have to reach and we have to pour into our young people. As advanced technology and AI, who hasn't heard about AI, become permanent features of our lives, we must embrace them while acknowledging how difficult it has become to discern what is real. Do you know what's real now? You can't tell what's real and what's not. And amid this technology overload, hope is still alive because the same survey found a surprising level of trust in universities. We play a role in making sure our young people are prepared for the future. Trust in universities. And it states people are far more likely to believe information from universities than from mainstream media, AI, or government. Yeah, let that sink in. And a 2024 Institute for Citizens and Scholars study called The Civic Outlook of Young Adults in America surveyed more than 4,000 young adult ages between 18 and 24 across the United States. The Institute found that young people who plan to engage civically are most likely to report an intention to vote. So we get them engaged early. They will vote, which is promising because we need them to vote. Can I get an amen? Yes, we need them to vote. And we must build these voting cultures across our communities and our campuses. And young adults, they want to be involved. They want to take action. On my campus, we had over 2,000 students march to the polls in this past election. And guess what? I was there with them, marching with them to the polls. And according to Gen Z, Civic Vibe Check survey, 9 in 10 young people are deeply care about their communities and feel a responsibility to get involved. However, the survey results also indicate that while Gen Zers care about their communities, their motivations to get involved are often misunderstood. A national survey of 1,000 young people between the age of 14 and 22, conducted by WIPOS, reveals barriers that prevent young people from engaging in civic life. 37% said they don't know how to start. 33% doubt they can make a difference. So this survey also noted some opportunities where we can step in, where we can act. One is give them a starting point. Expose them to events like this, to community meetings, to other things to help them understand their civic responsibilities. Create a space for real talk in person, if you can. You know, we like to touch and hug and fist pound and, have that in-person conversation with them where it resonates, where you can see them, you can feel them, you can talk to them. Connect civic action to real life and make it social. Lean in. We must pour into our young people. We must pour in and show them the outcome, show them the impact, provide a history for them of why it is that we do what we do and why it is that so many before us marched and put action behind it to make things happen. We must be adamant, just as Dr. King was when he said during a speech delivered at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama in 1957, life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are we doing for others? To truly consider the question, we must come to grips with the fact that if we are unable to answer this question, then we have missed an opportunity to take action. And we have missed an opportunity to live out our purpose. So what does action look like on this Martin Luther King Jr. Day and beyond? Dr. King understood that progress requires truth and understanding. We honor his legacy when we commit to knowing our history in full, sharing it honestly, and passing it on to the next generation. Because education shapes perspective, and perspective shapes action. Action also means service. Service connects us to one another and reminds us that change often starts close to home. Action means participating fully in civic life and bringing others along. Dr. King believed deeply in the responsibility of engaged citizenship. That means voting in all elections, not just federal elections. Amen. That means attending community meetings. When we lend our voices to the public good, we strengthen democracy and reinforce shared responsibility for our future. Action means investing in our young people. Dr. King's dream lives on through the leaders we prepare today for tomorrow. They are sitting in this room. Supporting education through giving of ourselves by sharing our time and talents in mentorship and creation of pathways to opportunity, or through the sharing of our treasures to support institutions that carry out this work every day in our communities and across the nation. Now, y'all know what I'm about to say next, right? Go ahead and be prepared. Support our HBCUs. Support and protect. Support and protect our HBCUs. The legacies, the history, the transformation, the social and economic mobility. Support them. Support us. Advancing the dream. When we invest in HBCUs, we invest in the future we hope to see. And advancing that dream today requires shared effort. It calls on institutions, organizations, families, individuals to move with intention and purpose. No one advances the dream alone. Progress is born when we come together across our communities, across our differences, united by a shared commitment to create opportunities and experiences that lift us all. Greensboro stands as a living example of this truth. The city shows us what it means to turn principle into practice, to reflect, guide, and responsibilities, and to let history shape bold, purposeful action. As I reflect on the world in which we live today, full transparency with our understanding or lack thereof of the uncertainties around us, the questions, the growing sense of fear, the growing sense of the unknown, we're reminded each day that things are changing. And it made me think about a story of two friends that I heard, and the Deltas in the room will get this. It was a story told by our soror, Dr. Cynthia M.A. Butler McIntyre, and it stuck with me when I heard her talk about this story, and I heard her talk about the importance of knowing who your friends are, because young people, everybody's not your friend, and don't get caught up in the likes, because the likes don't mean much of nothing. We need to make sure that we are focused on what it truly is that we are living for. And so she talked about this group of friends, this two friends by the name of Faith and Sight. Faith and Sight walked through life together, but there was always a quiet competition between them. Y'all know what I mean, right? Always a quiet competition between them. Sight always liked to move first, rushing ahead whenever the road looked clear. Faith followed behind, steady and patient, always waiting for the right moment. Sight often took pride in leading. I can see where we are going and where this goes, she'd say, just walking along, quickening her pace. While Faith would call after her, stay close. You don't know what's ahead of you. The path may change. But Sight rarely listened. You have a friend that rarely listened? Yeah, rarely listened to her. She trusted what was right in front of her and believed that speed meant strength. As they walked along, the road ahead suddenly split and faded into heavy fog. Sight ran ahead, as usual. You know that friend just go on, all right, go ahead. As usual, and then stopped in her tracks. The path was no longer clear, and because she was unsure and afraid, she turned back. Faith, she called. I can't see the way. Faith stepped beside her and said gently, if you hadn't run ahead of me, I would have led you on the right path. The fog never disappeared, but with each step, the way became clear because Sight could not see, but faith was clear on the path ahead. So on this journey of life, I want to encourage you not to let the fog and the uncertainty stop you from taking action. The good word in the good Bible says, walk by faith, not by sight. So if we let faith lead us, we will get to where we need to be. And just what we see ahead of us, don't get discouraged. Keep focused on the action. The God I serve keeps his promises. Always remember who you are and whose you are. And just as faith guided Sight, we too are called to walk together, called to action, side by side, hand in hand, lifting one another, supporting one another, and moving forward towards our shared mission with confidence as well as continued work and service. Greensboro exemplifies this same spirit. You show us what it means to turn principle into practice, to let reflection guide responsibility, and let history shape bold, purposeful action. The work moves forward, and the commitment remains unmistakable. I want to encourage you to, despite the challenges that arise each day, don't stop. On days when you feel like we are not as far along as we should be, don't stop. When you turn on the news and scroll on social media and witness the continual needs that exist in our cities, around our state, across the nation, and even around the world, don't stop. The younger generation cannot afford for us to stop. Too many gave up too much along the way to allow us to stop now. Too much hangs in the balance, so we cannot stop. We must trust, believe, and stay focused on the main thing. Let faith guide the way, and believe that through action, things can and will be better. As I leave you today, may we all focus on two simple questions. What will I do to advance the dream? What can I do to make a difference? Let this Martin Luther King Jr. Day be more than a moment of reflection. Let it be a moment of resolve. Let us carry this resolve into every action, every choice, and every moment, committing ourselves to advance the dream and make a difference together. Greensboro, I thank you again for inviting me to be a part of this commemoration of MLK Day. Again, thank you all, and thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Good morning. I am Dr. Love Jones, the Director of the Human Rights Department. First and foremost, let us again thank Dr. Dixon for such compelling words. We have a gift for you. I would like to also call our MC, yes, to the podium. Let's give Natalie another hand of applause. Thank you so much. As we close today, I simply want to say additional thank yous first to you all in attendance. Your presence is a demonstration of what matters, and this indeed matters. I also want to thank our City Council for their unwavering support, as well as that of City Management empowering the Human Rights Department to host this occasion. We host based on feedback from a group of people who are committed all year long to planning this event. So if the members of the MLK Planning Committee could please stand to be acknowledged, please give them a round of applause. The committee articulates a vision, the staff executes. And so at this time, if you could please give the Human Rights Department staff a round of applause. Deputy Director Hicks Few for her leadership in this endeavor. Again, I want to say thank you to you all for being so present and accounted for. Mayor Boozawaiter opened by talking about a quote from Dr. King, landing on dignity. And I will briefly state or reiterate something that I shared only a few days ago. Dr. King did not intend to be a permanent ambassador. He literally was a driving force so that people could begin to access things for themselves. That is agency. Agency is the vehicle for community preservation. When people have a sense of ownership of a thing because they can access the resources they need to do the things that they need to do for themselves, a community is preserved. There will be no small conglomerate of human beings who save Greensboro. Never has been. Literally, the residents of the city engaging in their own agency are the ones who preserve this community. And so to that end, when you leave today, see yourselves as the vehicle for the push, not the pause, that Dr. Dixon spoke about, a push for dignity. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful rest of your day.